Hello, hello. Welcome to another draw lesson with your teacher, Mr. Strada. And we're going to start off with our regular app as Medibang. And open that up. We're going to start a new canvas. New canvas. Make sure it's 12 by 9 inches. Make sure it's inches. And 350 DPI or resolution. All right. So here we go. We have a new layer up here. We're gonna start a new layer. Oh, not a new layer, we don't need it. But we're gonna add an image. And as soon as I can get that image up, there we go. We're gonna enlarge it to 200%. It's not big enough, don't extract. We're gonna go up here to a little corner with a little box. As soon as I delete that extra layer, little box with arrows coming in and out. And then we're gonna stretch it out to the edges. Don't worry if the top and bottom are not fully covered. And here we go. There we go. We're gonna bring down this image to about 50%, roughly. Make sure you select the first layer. We're gonna go get a gray, and we're not gonna do lead pencil. We're gonna go and get our wet watercolor. Now for our watercolor, we're gonna need a smaller size, about 30, 35. Opacity is gonna be about 44. Minimum width about 10%. We're gonna have a color mixture about 90. 90 is fine. Color load is gonna be about 30. Okay? So size by pressure, well, that's if you have a pen. So we're gonna get a medium gray color, not too dark, not too light. And we're gonna quickly do a quick outline of everything. Let's get a bigger, smaller brush. I don't want that big of a line there. So we're gonna go quickly make an outline of everything. I'm just gonna go through the trees, go up here, coming down. Got several hills. Quick tree, quick tree. Quick, quick, quick. Don't forget to do the clouds. So we're going to draw in the clouds, just the outlines, and that's going to take a minute. Now you see how I go beyond the fixture. We're gonna make up what's there later on. Don't just leave an empty space on the top. Fill it in. fill in all the outlines on the clouds. Then don't forget the hills, all the hills. You're gonna quickly outline. Half of the hills, you're doing the little house, and then the little grass in front of the house, and the springy bushes, the yellow springy bushes, and the bush next to the house as well, and the street, and the ditch. And on the other side, we're gonna forget the people in just a minute. We're gonna make a line right through them. We're gonna edit them out. Yep. Oh, see, gonna draw a line right through the people, and then we're gonna make the opacity for the image 100%. And we're gonna get our eyedropper tool. We're gonna start with a light gray, and then we're gonna switch it off. And don't forget to choose the right layer. And we're gonna draw in with a brush size of 60. And the opacity is about 45. And we're gonna start drawing it in. Draw, fill it in. We're filling in with a light gray here. And then we're gonna get our eyedropper tool, we're gonna get a darker gray, and we're gonna draw on top of that. And since we have a color mixture of about 90, the color of that gray is gonna mix in with that lighter gray. Now if we use that same gray on the side here, you're gonna see that it is darker, but that's because we're not mixing it in with any other color. I'm gonna fill in the whole thing. And then we're gonna get a darker gray. Nope. Yep. And we're gonna fill in a little bit with that darker gray. Fill. We're gonna get the eyedropper tool and we're gonna fill in the other side. Okay, so we're gonna fill that in a little bit more according to the picture. Here we go. And we're gonna fill in that whole little area. And then we're gonna come back with a lighter gray a little bit later. Fill some more in over here. Making circles. Okay, so we're gonna add in another color here. Change it up, it's a little too dark. Mix it in a little bit. Try to get all the white spots. Mix it in with darker clouds up here. There we go. Use that color down here. Add in a little more dark color from here. some more darker grays. Still using a little swirling method. I keep on grabbing more different colored grays to mix into the clouds here. Now, if the color touches another color as you're coloring, it will grab that color along for a little bit. That all depends on the load setting. I'll take different colored grays, mix in with darker colors, darker patches. I'm gonna mix it up here. Going down, grab another lighter gray, and I'm gonna fill that in. There we go. Mix a little bit to the sides here. Mix. Got a lot of white spots. Try to get all those white spots covered. Now I'm gonna grab some blue-gray. And we're still twirling into the clouds, filling in that last area here. I'm gonna go back and grab a lighter blue, or I can mix it in some other areas, just to give it a bit more dynamic range of colors. I move the color up to almost white, a blue-white, and mix it in with some of the other clouds. Now it looks like I'm going back and forth, but I'm actually doing tiny little circles along with a combination of tiny little circles and going back and forth as well. Now I have almost pure white, and I mix it in the lighter areas of the gray. A little bit there, a little bit here. Now we're starting a dark part of the mountain. And I fill that in with a purple gray here. Then we're gonna get a lighter purple, gray, blue here and add it to our mount. Make sure you pick the right layer. Make sure you know what layer you're on. And get that lighter blue still and add some more detail in. We're gonna get some of that dark green, fill that in. Here we go. Fill in that whole section. Get a lighter green, add some highlights to that hill. Mix it in with a darker green as well, but not too much, just a little bit. Go on to the next section. Now, since we have a color mixture brush, I'm really only grabbing 2 colors and letting it blend in on its own. For most sections, sometimes I get a 3rd color, but not always. Moving on to the next section, get that darker green, yellow. And we're just fill. Get a lighter green, fill in those highlights. Now I'm going in a diagonal way, in diagonal direction. You really want to get the shape of the object you're trying to color in. Poke the eye, make sure you're in the right layer. Even I make mistakes. So I got a lighter green. Now I'm going to get that darker part of the green, yellow. Give some more dimension, depth in there. Now we're going top to down. If you can't tell, we've started at the clouds and we're moving down the hills. Gonna go all the way down to the road, and then we'll draw in the trees at the last bit. As I move along to each section, I grab a dark color and a light color in that section to color in the area. I usually suggest to get the lighter color first before using the darker color. You can do it the other way around, but it is a little harder to blend in a lighter color on top of a darker color sometimes. Not all the time, but you'll see what I mean later on. fill in another section of the hills. Now the colors between all the hills are very close, but they're still distinctive enough to see that if you put them all together, they're really quite different. They're close but different. Add some little dots, some little waves. You don't have to color in the whole thing, but add little dots or little lines to give it that texture look. As we go from the mountains down to each hill, as we come closer and closer to the front, you'll see more and more detail, more textures than toward the back. Here we'll make a little row of lines here, some short row lines over there. And yeah. There we go. Grab another color, filling it in. Very light green. Gonna grab some of that darker green over here. Okay, so we're almost done here. Fill in another section of green, get the eyedropper, grab the color, fill it in. Like I said, you want to start with a lighter green, a lighter color. And we're going to fill that in. Now, since there's a color mixture when you stack colors on top of each other, you will see a difference between 2 colors and 3. And then if you use a dark color, then a lighter color over it. And then if you add more colors, the color tends to get muddy. Add some little details here. What distinguishes a drawing from a colored in drawing to a more realistic drawing is the amount of detail you put into it. How much detail are you putting into your drawing? So let's see, I'm drawing in a little bit of color there, but the lines are so small I can barely see, but it is there. I'm gonna quickly draw in the path with a medium color here, not too dark, not too light. And I'm going to go over it with a darker color. Very muddy color. Now the color's not as dark as you would think. That's because it's mixing in with that medium color. And then any color that touches it on the sides as well. Now that's a bit messy. We're gonna try to clean that up. Grab some of that dirt color. Now see how mixing in 3 colors, it's not really working all that great. That's because you're mixing it in with 3 different colors for if it touches the sides. Eyedropper, get another color, darker green. Get some of those dark areas down. Short little lines here and there. That picture ends around right there, but we're gonna add in our own details. Now see, we're trying to add in a lighter color, but since it's mixing with everything else, it kind of dulls the color down. But then if you mix it in with a lighter color like you saw on top here, it looks darker. So each area has its own distinct color of green. So we're gonna start with a light silverish gray, fill in that road first. And we're gonna curve these lines because it helps give it a 3-dimensional look. So try and curve your lines. Now we get a silverish dark gray, and we're gonna add some of those road lines. That textured road here. And the more layers you put over one section, the darker the lines become. There we go. Two taps with your fingers, and you don't have to press the little back button. Grab another color for the side of the road. Next section. Mix it in with a dark color a little bit. And bring it down just a tad. For that top section. A couple of squiggly lines there. And then we're gonna get that yellow. We're gonna make some diagonal lines going across. Get that wheat bush texture feeling. Then we'll go straight up, and we're going to make it about 15 pixels. Those little lines down. There we go. There you go. Little tiny lines, many lines to get that texture down. Next, we're gonna do the houses. We're gonna color in the houses. Each section is gonna take about two, sometimes 3 different colors. Brush is about 60 pixels. Get a darker, lighter section. Oops. A little bit darker, a couple lines here and there. Bring up the color, an orangey color, and some more colors there. Bring it all the way down. Well, not all the way down. And then we're gonna make some little windows. There. Continue on grabbing colors to color the house. We're going to go up and give it another shade. Grab another color. Color the top portion of the house. Go up, give it another shade. Diagonal lines going down. Let's see, do a little bit of the roof. Darker orangey brown, small pixels, about 20, and we're going to tap it and get some texture for the tiles of the roof on top. A couple taps, couple lines. Can't forget that part of the house. There we go. Give it a lighter shade. Now all we have left are some bushes and the trees. Get a dark color there. About 50 pixels. And we're going to fill in the trees with a dark green color first. Just fill them in. okay if they look a little jagged. Trees aren't uniformly round or smooth, so a little jaggedness is okay. We have a couple trees in the background as well. We're gonna get to those in a minute. Don't forget this little bush in front of the house. These side ones over here. A little bit of that gray sky mixed into it. There we go. So we have 1, 2, and I think 3 more on the side, 4 on the side over here. We're just gonna go straight up a little tiny swirls up, going up. Another one here. Another one over here. Oh, that looks good. Oh, one last one right here. Okay, so we're gonna get a lighter green from there, and we're gonna add into our trees over here. Go up to about 45, and we're gonna make curves. Curves, curves, curves. Curves, curves, curves. Some more curves going all the way down. All right. Curves, curves, curves. Go up a little bit in color. Actually, that's a little bit too much. More curves. No, that's yeah, that's the way. I'm not liking this color. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. That's not gonna work. We're gonna go all the way back. We're just gonna make some on the sides. Not too much. Curves, curves, curves. All right. That seems about right. That's okay. If you have any little white spots, try to cover those up. All right, so once you're all done, don't take a screenshot. You're gonna wanna go up to the corner, go down to export, make a JPEG, save it, and turn it in. Save to my gallery. Now you turn it in, and you're all done. All right, boys and girls, that's it for the lesson. If you didn't follow in class, you can follow now. All right, goodbye. See you guys later.